Okay, hello and welcome to our live meditation on February 27th. Tomorrow's the last day of February. Yay. So we're in transitional period. We're transitioning as a community from our month focusing on fascia, and we're also transitioning in the month on the calendar, and then also we're transitioning seasonally. Most of us, except for Benny, are in the northern hemisphere. We're transitioning from spring to summer. No, sorry, winter to spring. Let's just skip spring. That tough season. Did you like how I did that for you? There's a Freudian slip for you. I'll just skip that season for you all. We'll just go right into the bliss of summer. Or we're in the southern hemispheres, transitioning from summer into autumn. Either way, we're coming into transitional seasons that are a little more bumpy, like winter's stable, summer stable. These seasons are a little more bumpy. So transitional, we're in transition. And so I thought I'd talk a little bit. I'll start with the teaching talk, then we'll go around and you'll get a chance to introduce yourself, your intention, what you want to receive from your practice today. And then we'll go into practice, and then you'll have some time to speak about your practice if you wish, either your practice that you experienced here or throughout the week, and ask questions and that kind of thing. So, as I said, I wanted to talk about this transition that we're in because this past month we've really been focusing on fascia, really ironing out tension and removing those adhesions, whether they're physical or mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, the ones that are coming up in our fascia, coming from those deeper levels. And as we go into March, we're going into the meridians and the energy channels in our body. And so we're really going to focus on flow. So, of course, it's not really that linear. Wouldn't it be so nice? Okay, now you're done. Now you're in flow. It's like, it's good. Yeah. Yay. You're graduated. Done and dusted. But in truth, you are in flow. Like you are always in flow, and it's just a matter of resting into that. So everything is in motion at all times in our own personal being, in our relationships, in the world. You just have to look out at the natural world around you. Nothing is still. Like right now, I look, oh my God, it's snowing. I was going to say there's rain falling from the sky, but so there's rain falling from the sky. The trees are moving very subtly, not very much. But if you look outside, there's always movement. There's always movement in the world, in the natural world. And even as we meditate, there's this stillness that comes, but it doesn't come at the expense of rigidity or immobility. So in meditation and in life, maybe I'm just going to mute everybody so we get a little nice quiet environment. Hi, I see everybody, more and more people joining us. Okay, that's nice and quiet now. No more echoes. Definitely snow. So in meditation and in life, we close ourselves off. If we really tried to create stillness, we would be closing ourselves off to the flow that's available to us through muscular tension and through contraction. And we know from this past month that this shows up in our fascia as adhesions. And so physically, this is like pain in our body's knots, tension. But in our ego structure, this shows up as resisting the flow of our life in subtle and not so subtle ways, kind of aggression towards ourselves and the unfolding of our experience. And then there's this kind of holding and contracting that inhibits the natural flow of our breath and the passage energy through our body. And we're going to be exploring this in March through March Meridians. So various poses that we do, acupressure points, breath practices, energy practices that help to that open us up to the flow that's already there, that we tend to kind of through our own controlling, through our own habitual patterns, we block ourselves off from. So when we hold our body, when we resist our experience, our bodies, tissues, our hearts start to harden into an armoring that starts to block our awareness of our experience. And this, whether this be physical or mental or emotional, energetic, spiritual, relational, with other people, with our natural world. And unfortunately, all this physical holding, all this contracting and controlling in our bodies leads to a mind that's full of judgment and fear. And many of us hold this kind of core belief that we need to cover things up about ourselves because we're flawed. We need to acquire things, consume things to make ourselves more acceptable. And this goes right into our spiritual life too, right? With self-improvement projects. And I need to take this course. I need to buy this book. I need to do this class. And we keep this kind of ongoing self-improvement project going, which is another form of controlling that leads to more contraction and hardening. And so this kind of cycle continues. So in our meditation practice, what I'm trying to get at is that there's this middle path between controlled stillness and imposing immobility and constant fidgeting. If we react to the appearance of every unpleasant sensation by rearranging our body, or even standing up and walking away from our meditation for the day, or even for a moment, then our meditation inquiry cannot go very far at all. We can't go very deep with the process. As uncomfortable, we know over the last 2 weeks, we've talked about this. As we meditate, releasing tension from our bodies, there are places in your body where illness and trauma, deeply held beliefs will start to come to the surface. This is the deep purification and opening of your energy channels that starts to happen as the held tension in your body starts to dissolve and move. And so then there's a flow that starts to happen where some of the deeply held core beliefs, emotional pains, and restrictions start to be released. This is part of the flow. And if we start to go like, oh my God, this is uncomfortable, no, I don't think so, and we move or fidget or we get up and move away rather than open to the emotion that's flowing through or open to the discomfort, move into it, feel it, then we're inhibiting that, just that natural movement of whatever's flowing through us. Same thing if we impose rigidity or an over amount of stillness, right? Like, I got to hunker down, I got to be with this, I'm going to grit and bear it. This too is going to interfere with our progress. So these painful restrictions that are held in these deep layers of our fascia, the more we hold, the more we try and control the process, then they can't be released. But instead, if we accept and yield to the forces of nature, such as gravity, so we feel tension in our bodies. We know this from the style meditation, and we let it sink down into the earth. Or I feel tension in my big toe, I go into the sensation of the tension. Or I feel hardening in my heart, I feel pain in my heart, I go into that sensation. I flow with the movement of my breath. So we can be flexible, we can surrender to the motion that's always available to us. It's always asserting our flow. So see how we're transitioning from the tension to the flow. So this is not like water flowing down a river. It might meet an obstacle, but there's going to be a way to flow around it. I know. So in this way, meditation is not something that we have to do. It doesn't become another self-improvement project. It doesn't become another aggressive project where we're like going to hammer down and make it happen and make it another way to improve ourselves and make it another way to make ourselves better, make it another way to cover up our flaws. What's happening here is nothing that we have to create, nothing we have to make happen, and nothing we have to maintain. Because really, all we have to open to is a relaxation, open to the process that's already unfolding and changing from moment to moment. And you know this from your experience in your meditation too. Even as you relax, it's not something that happens just once. Your body will continue to yield. It will continue to let go of tension. New layers of tension will continually present themselves. So your body is in a constant state of flow, in a constant state of unfolding. And you just have to be present to that. You're just going to be present to it. As you release more and more tension from your body, you're going to be more open to felt sensation in your body. You'll feel your body flow more. You'll feel your body breathing more. You might feel pulsation. You might feel vibration. And some of the sensations that you're going to feel are going to be quite pleasant. And then there could be the tendency to like want to hold on to that sensation. But again, the same kind of thing, you're going to allow those sensations to come through. And they're going to come and they're going to go, just like the uncomfortable ones. Other sensations are going to be really uncomfortable. And it's going to feel like they're going to last forever. And same thing, you're going to be present to those sensations. And just like when we go into the intensity, any pain, any holding in the big toe, eventually it shifts and dissolves. So when you experience uncomfortable sensations, whether they be physical, mental, emotional, we even have uncomfortable sensations of, energy ones, feeling restless, feeling exhausted, and feeling like we should have more energy, or spiritual ones where we're questioning our spiritual path. This is completely normal, and that can be uncomfortable as well. It's really common to tense our body. It's a common reactive pattern. And this pattern is an attempt to modify our experience. Like, think if I'm having pain in my shoulders, right? I'm going to try and change this in some way rather than being completely with it, or I'm going to try and conceal the discomfort. And I'm not saying that, there's definitely place for bringing in support. Like if you've got a headache, then you need to take your medication for your headache. Or if you've got pain and you're in a level of discomfort, you need to bring yourself back into a level of comfort. But also and I think that's part of being present to it, right? Present to your own needs and what's going to bring you back into flow. But when we open to the sensation without resistance, it clears the mental and physical blockages, and it keeps a wide open awareness available to us rather than shutting awareness down. So by not shutting down sensations, by remaining open, we allow the purification and the flow continue, and our experience of meditation can naturally continue. When we hold back on powerful flows and surges of sensations that occur, what happens is that we lock ourselves down into further patterns of tensions. And these are the ones that we've been releasing ourselves from this past month, all through Fascia February, and even through our meditation over the past 8 months. And then our meditation becomes more elusive. So instead, we continue to yield to gravity. We continue to open to the sensations in our body. We continue to connect to our practice, and our practice moves forward. There's a beautiful quote from a Zen poet, Ikkyu. He says, "To harden into a Buddha is wrong." And I think that really says it really perfectly. There's been a lot coming up about in various classes about there's so much thinking going on in my mind, and I can't stop thinking. I've got to get rid of the thinking. This is another layer of trying to control what's happening. So often what I'm hearing from a lot of you is that when we come to meditation, we try and get rid of this dialogue in our mind. And this is the same kind of aggressive project. Like, okay, this is my time to meditate. I'm not going to think. And this aggressive project leads to hardening. But when we open to our experience in a non-aggressive and non-controlling way, we can observe our mind carefully, just as we would observe. I keep going back to the very beginning, right? Observe the pain of the big toe. We might be surprised to find that our monologue doesn't actually have a stable ground. It comes and it goes. It dissolves and it lets go, just like the tension in the big toe, and we stop trying to control it. Often we hold our heads very still. It's stillness in our heads. I mean, our whole culture, we spend all our time looking at screens. Right? There's not a lot of movement in our heads, and this is part of the symptom of the internal monologue in our head. So denying motion, and I'm not saying to sit there and bob your head around in meditation. I'm not saying that at all. But the things that we set up in our meditation, when you're lying on the ground, we focus on releasing tension into the ground, feeling that gravity, feeling the flow of gravity through the back of the head, feeling the tension release through the back of your mind, breathing. All of these things can allow the contents of the mind to release and open to awareness. Because trying to control any part of this process creates a blockage that's going to interfere with your meditative process. So when you yield to your breath, you yield to gravity, you yield to the tactile sensations of your body, and your head is part of your body, then even the contents of your mind will flow through like clouds in the sky, and you'll open an awareness to your deeper self. But holding, controlling, the aggression of the make work project, it makes the tactile sensations, feelings, emotions, memories, and thoughts that might become available to us to flow through, then they become unavailable. They stay stored in our body, and then they cause us pain, emotional trauma, illness, all those things. So as we relax our tissues through the fascial practices and through the release through our somatic meditation, long buried core beliefs, emotional wounding start to come to the surface. They start to be cleared quite quickly. And I know all of you have experienced this. You relax into your body, you open to tactile sensation, you surrender to gravity, and the superficial numbness of your body, it rapidly begins to change. And the sensations that come forward, some of them will be neutral, some of them will be painful, some of them will be pleasant, and they'll just, and as much as possible, by connecting with gravity, by connecting with your breath, by connecting with the sensations of your body, you're going to let them flow through. As we open to them, they'll arise and they'll pass. They're dynamic. You'll notice the sensation. You'll notice it is neutral, pleasant, painful. You'll feel into it, and it dissolves. Sometimes the arising and the passing away will happen quite rapidly. Sometimes it'll be a longer and drawn out process. Sometimes it'll be somewhere in the middle. But if there's tightness and rigidity in your body, the more these sensations will accumulate and get jammed up in your body. So that's why we do the fascia febrae. That's why we do the lying down practice every week, to release tension in our bodies so that we're clearing those energy channels in the body so that the energy can flow easily. Because as we release and relax and surrender to gravity, these sensations can move through in whatever way they need to move through. And your body has the wisdom to be able to move them through. We're just clearing the pathways. We're clearing the blockages. We're clearing the jammed upness so it can start to move through. So in this practice of meditation, we're opening to the awareness of sensation and yielding to them. We allow them to move through us in whatever way they wish to move through. These emerging sensations are the manifestation of unconscious contents of our body and our mind and our emotions. And as I keep saying, this past month through Fascia Febrae and our meditation, we've been focusing on releasing these held patterns in our body. And in March, Meridian March, we're going to see how by releasing them, we're starting to let them flow through. So our unconscious comes to the surface of awareness where it can be liberated and part of the conscious sphere of our body-mind. It's like the life force wants to move through your body like a wave through the water. If it becomes blocked, you'll experience pressure and pain at the point of blockage. And the more you yield and relax, the more you're going to experience comfort, naturalness. your authentic self. So the pain in our bodies physically, the suffering in our bodies physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, it can be attributed to this resistance that that is habitual, and allowing the life force to move through unimpeded can change this habitual pattern. So back to the mind. As I said, this is like, in our culture, we hold the mind as like the most important thing. And I heard somebody say this morning that really it's like the caboose on the train. It's like not really, it shouldn't be leading. It's not the be all and end all. It plays an important role, but the more we can let that drop back into the background, probably the better. So, because we get into a lot of trouble the more we give this thinking mind credit. So ordinarily, I'm going somewhere with this. Ordinarily, we identify with the contents of our mind. We believe our thoughts. A thought comes up and we get entangled in it. We think, a thought comes up, nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. Everybody hates what I'm doing. Or, I'm no good. I'm not blank enough. Whatever the thought comes in the mind, it comes up and we glom onto it, and then we start running with it like a hamster on the wheel, and we don't question it. We take it as truth. And just like sensations in our body, the thoughts that come up in our mind, they just want to pass through. It's just like a wave wanting to move through the water. But if we respond by clinging to the contents of our mind, getting excited about them, sometimes we can have great thoughts, right? And then we get all excited about them and we think, oh, I need to remember this by this, so that at the end of meditation, I can write this down and I can act on it. So sometimes we get really excited about our thoughts. We get attached to them and we think, oh, this is a brilliant idea I have, and I really need to hang on to it. And then we spend our whole meditation thinking about how brilliant we are and how this is like a great action plan forward. And, oh, I have this amazing insight. And no, this is like the same hamster on the wheel, just, and then you're there. This is just another thought wanting to move through. So thinking that you're like this great person having these great thoughts, same kind of blockage. And creates the same kind of holding and tension in the body. Same kind of ego clinging. Creates dull awareness in the mind that doesn't allow those deeper insights to move through. So we can allow several layers of thoughts to pass through our mind, just like wind moving through the branches of a tree. You don't have to hold on to them. During meditation, thoughts can be viewed as a force that wants to move through the space of your cranium. So, and I'm going to cue this. You can think about relaxing the area around your temples, your eyes, your forehead. Deeply held beliefs that we have can be released by consciously relaxing the area around your brainstem. So if you think about your brain, it kind of looks like this actually. Your brainstem's right in the middle here. So when I say relax your brainstem, it's right where my finger is pointing down, like that. So you consciously relax your brainstem. You can really relax those deeply held core beliefs in the middle at the base of your brain. Also, and this goes like right, so in your brain, it goes like right to the base of your throat here. Relaxing the base of your throat will relax your deeply held core beliefs. So just, let's not make it a project. So in our meditation, we'll take some of these things into our meditation with us. And, let's just take a moment right here now before we go right into talking, and just close your eyes. Feel the earth underneath you. Feel your connection to the ground. Allow your spine to be long. Elongate through the back of your head. This will draw your ears back over your shoulders. Let there be space between your teeth. Let your tongue float in your mouth. And then just connect with your breath in your belly. So after taking that moment to pause, to connect with the earth underneath you, to connect with your own self, to find flow and movement in your body, reflect on how this teaching talk relates to you in your life right now. What stands out about it? How does it relate to you in your life? And then ask yourself what it is that you would like to receive from your practice today. Okay, so when you feel ready, you can stay connected to the earth underneath you. Stay connected with the breath in your belly. And then you can open your eyes, and I'll let you introduce yourselves, where you're connecting from, and what you want to receive from your practice today. And by the way, most of that talk, go ahead, Linda, after, I'll just say most of that talk was taken from chapter 4 of Will Johnson's posture meditation.
Yeah. Okay, I'm Linda from Holland, and I look very much forward to some flow, because I don't feel the flow at all. Last couple of weeks, I think I was forcing myself a lot into a lot of projects, but especially a lot of thinking and trying to understand why things are as they are. And yeah, I came to the conclusion that's funny that it is really a controlling thing to have this planning going on every part of my life. And yeah, I look forward to let go more of this controlling mindset. That's it.
Thanks, Linda.
I'm Paige, and I'm connecting from Italy. And when I asked myself what I wanted to receive from my practice, what came to me is I just want to go deeper. I want to go deeper into myself. What Linda said about flow and finding flow, really trusting flow, I think, is important. And it's definitely where I'm living right now.
Mm-hmm. So we can trust flow because we are already flow. It's our natural, like it's as natural as the change of the seasons. It's as natural as the snow falling from the sky. It's as natural as the wind moving through the trees. It's just our deep, it's our core beliefs, it's our controlling, it's our ego mind that puts all those barriers against it, right? So simply all we have to do is open to it. It's already there. It's not like we have to do flow. It's there already. Right. Yeah.
Madeline, connecting from Michigan. And speaking of flow, I'm feeling the flow in my calves and my feet. Before meditation, I went outside on the snow and had my face in the sun for 15 minutes. So I think that my body wants me to open my lower legs and feet today.
Thanks, Madeline.
Yeah.
I'm Petra. It's my first time here. What came up for me was being able to use flow for coping with. I have some anxiety and things, and anxiety will hold me back a lot of the time from doing anything. So to be able to move through and just cope with whatever comes up, because I'm sure things will come up. So for me, it was that word coping. I think I'm hoping it will help me with that.
So I just want to acknowledge that there is a part of you that brought you here today that was courageous enough to show up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all have that within us, that deeper part that is bigger than the anxiety or whatever that is for you. And that's really beautiful in each and every one of us, right? Our basic goodness, our basic nature that's always looking after us, already helping us to cope. So that's
I'm
really
Bene.
beautiful.
Oh.
Thanks. Go ahead, Benny.
Excuse me. So I'm connecting from Mayotte. And tonight, I just want to, just as Paige said, go deeper in this path. And on the emotional release that I have been experienced through the somatic meditation these days. Mm-hmm. And just see where I go. I loved what you said about the thoughts and how we tend to anchor on that thoughts, and it's so hard to release the thoughts. It's so hard.
Yeah, is it? I'm just curious. Does it feel like a relief that we don't have to take them personally?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's years of like absolutely taking everything that comes up as like truth. So it's sort of like it's like a habit, right? Of like
Yes.
attaching to what comes up is like, oh, I better take this seriously, right?
And what was interesting, it's when you said about the positive thoughts too, that we tend to think, oh, but that's better, it's okay, it's good, it's a good one. I totally recognize me in when you said during the meditation, I had that thought, that amazing thought, I have to journal after, and and it's so true that yes, it's hard work, but we are working on that. I am working on that to take a distance with my thoughts and to try to recognize when I am too focused on my thoughts. And I think it's a part of all the work we are doing here now, meditation, the practice, the daily practice, etc., etc., and the readings.
Yeah, it all goes together.
Staying today, and I think everyone has pretty much covered what I wanted to say. I guess I'm just looking forward to releasing a little bit deeper into the meditation, and trusting that that release will happen. And if it doesn't, not placing any judgment on that.
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about this last week, which is that we can trust the wisdom of our body, that it will let go when it's ready to let go. It might let go a lot, it might let go a little, and that all of this is the just amazing wisdom of our body to know exactly what you're ready for on any given day. So I think you're speaking to that, which is, it's really brilliant.
For me also, when I do a lot of journaling, coming back to you, Ben, what you said is that when I go and want to write things down, then I'm very focused on my thoughts. So that's the reason that for longer times I don't want to journal, because then I'm getting so much in my head. It's so much trying to grab it and hold it and understand it, and when I can get words for it, then it's okay. And that's for me a reason not to journal a lot, to let it go, because I can get so much in my head and trying so hard or too much.
This is where I think discernment is really important, because sometimes journaling can be really helpful to let the wind flow through the branches of the tree. But then I think we can also, with awareness, know when it becomes fixation. Yeah. And we know that for ourselves. When we're telling the story over and over and over again, then it becomes something that anchors down. Or when it's like you're getting that inner guidance to like, this is just going to help let the wave move through the water. Yeah.
Totally.
Hi, I'm Marina Patrice. I'm joining from Philadelphia, and I was thinking about, as you were sort of letting us reflect on the teaching talk, the patterns that I'm slowly undoing of being a chronic overdoer and over-improver, and this mantra that I had forgotten about, that I have used in the past, came back to me, which is, people are not projects and neither am I.
I love it.
Yeah, that was like, it was timely. So what I've been enjoying most about the meditation practice is just getting to know myself, like, really be with myself. And so I'm going in again with curiosity today and looking forward to, the knowledge that I receive from my body.
Thank you. I got to write that one down. I feel like I needed to hear that today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lucille. I'm in Toronto. I could really identify with also what Marina just said. I have been sleeping so well for the last month, and yet my energy is low. Like, I don't think it could be any lower. And I'm wondering what that is. I have a feeling it might be, as I'm unraveling these patterns of codependency, that I have a little bit of guilt because the people I'm letting go of are not improving. And that's always an agenda with me, wanting to help people. Anyway, I keep doing the meditation almost every day. And I feel like it's okay for me to have a good night's sleep. And other people are not my project. It doesn't matter how much I care about them. But it's so unusual, even though I practice self-care, to feel safe in letting them all go. It's like they don't even seem to care that I've let them all go, and that bothers me. It keeps coming back to, okay, well, maybe I need to check up on them, and no, I don't. So it's a lot of stuff going on emotionally, but sleeping better is really appreciated by me. It's so wonderful. Thank you.
So what stands out to me about what Lucille's saying is that what's coming up is the part of her that feels like she should be doing something. Right? Oh, look at all those heads. Okay. Yeah. And that's, when we do this kind of work, as I said, there are going to be parts of us that we don't fully accept or haven't fully integrated that are going to come forward. Right? And it's those aspects of ourself that we bring acceptance to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's those aspects that we hold.
Yeah.
Hold space for.
Yeah, I wonder if I could just give you this little quote that every morning when I journal, I read last year's journal on this date. And I had written down a little quote from Emmanuel 3. It says, "Do not plead the case of your life to the tribunal of your mind. It will keep you in court for another 600.
Brilliant. Thanks, Lucille. So, what Lucille brought up, we're moving towards in our practice, but it's a huge part of the practice, and we're taking baby steps there. Okay, but first we have to establish the ground. Okay, first we have to establish the ground. Michelle said she's connecting from England. She's looking forward to continuing the journey of deepening her connection with the earth. The more she practices, the more awareness she has of the spaciousness within her body relating to the earth and the universe? Well, Michelle, I just feel so honored to be teaching meditation with you in our community, because I always feel like we're just so in sync with where we're at. Because, well, that was just a great segue from what I said, is in order to really heal our hearts, we have to have that solid foundation, which is what Michelle's talking about. That connection to the earth, having that safety and stability underneath us, is what is going to create that safety to really heal our hearts. So that's first. That's first. Okay. And that's a lot of you that practice this week's Yoga with Melissa class. I told you I wasn't going to teach important things there anymore. We're going there in quieter ways and way more in depth here. But the teachings are there too in a much more sparse way. So let's practice. You're going to lie down on your backs with your feet flat on the floor. Petra, did you do one of these already? Have you tried one of these already? So sorry, before I start, Petra, I have a question for you. Okay. All right. Let's so you're lying on your backs with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And my instructions, as always, are a guideline. The most important thing is for you to look after your own comfort and to follow the guidance of your own body. Your knees are bent, your feet are flat on the floor, your hands are resting on your belly. And the intention behind that position is that you can relax without effort, and so that your low back is comfortable, so that your psoas is relaxed, so that there isn't any strain anywhere in your body. You're feeling your 2 feet, the 2 sides of your buttocks, your mid-back, your 2 shoulder blades, your 2 elbows, and your head on the ground. Feel the earth underneath you. Feel its solidity and support. Allow yourself to relax into the earth. And even as you lie down in this way, you can start to feel gravity receiving the tension of your body. So there's nothing you need to do here. You can allow gravity to take the tension of your body, just surrendering it back into the earth. So bring your awareness into your toes, all 5 toes at once. Your big toe, your second toe, your third toe, your 4th toe, and your 5th toe. Noticing the sensations that are present in your toes, feeling any holding and gripping, feeling tension, and allowing that tension to come forward. And as you allow the tension to come forward, let it become more heightened. The tension will start to shift and change on its own. So this is part of the flow. Nothing stays the same. And you can notice that there's a natural releasing and relaxing that happens through all the toes as the energy goes back down and into the earth. So now you'll come into the ball of your foot, feeling the tightness, the density in the ball of your foot. Feeling the sensation and tension, allowing that to come forward. And numbness can be a kind of tension as well. Let your awareness open. And when you begin this practice, you may not be able to sense or feel, and that's okay. With repetition, you're opening the neural pathways, you're opening the pathways of awareness. And the more you do this practice, the more you'll be able to feel. So you open your awareness right into the ball of the foot, and then that tension begins to alchemically change, shift, respond, and release down into the earth. And then you go into the arch of your foot, feeling the front and the middle and the back of your arch, feeling the tightness, the rigidity, the tautness in the arch of your foot, the instep, the outside, feeling the holding on, knowing that you don't have to fall on anymore. You can let go. And then feeling the tension release like snowflakes falling from the sky. Coming into the band of tension from the baby toe to the heel. Feeling the tightness there. And then letting that release. We're taking plenty of time. As you open these neural pathways of awareness by focusing on one area, it will carry with you out into your life so that you have a deeper relationship with your body. And then it becomes a baseline for your next meditation as well. Coming into your heel, feeling the tightness in your heel. And then that releases down and into the earth. So now your whole foot is relaxing, releasing, letting go, dissolving into the earth. Now your lower leg bones, your shins, your shin bones, the interior of your lower legs, the density of your calf muscles. Feel into the density. Find the point where sensation is present and allow awareness to expand from there. Feeling the tension, breathing in, and then allowing tension to release down through your lower legs, down through your ankles, completely relaxing and surrendering the tension. And you may notice as you release tension from your feet and your lower legs that other parts of your body call to let go. And you can trust that. You can trust the wisdom of your body, let go in the other parts of your body, and then come back to your lower legs. So you're letting the tension go down into the earth. The earth is drawing the tension down into herself. And then you're coming to your buttocks, feeling the points where your buttocks touch the earth, feeling the gripping and the holding there, and allowing that to let go and soften. So you relax through your buttocks, And then you come up into your pelvis, the pelvic bones, feeling the tension being held in the pelvic bones, in the pelvic cavity, right around to your sacrum at the back. The SI joints for the sacrum connect to the pelvis and the pelvic floor. Your anal area, the perineum, the sex organs. Feel the tension, feel the release, feel the downward flow into the earth. And then coming to your upper legs, the thighs, the femur bone, the hamstrings, feeling the density, feeling the tightness. And then letting that tension flow down through your upper legs, through your buttocks, and into the earth. So feeling the flow, feeling the release of tension. And then coming to your mid-back at the base of your breastbone, your sternum, the base of your rib cage. Feel the connection to the earth there. Allow this connection to soften. Feel your ribs resting on the ground. And then feel the tension at the base of your sternum from the inside, the insides of your ribs. Let your attention move into the holding, move into all the tiny points of holding and tension. And then you're allowing that tension to dissolve and release and sink down into the earth. And sometimes tension will let go a little bit. Sometimes it'll feel like it lets go hardly at all. Sometimes it'll feel like warm water melting an ice cube. Sometimes it'll feel like shifts, like maybe tectonic plates on the earth shifting as your body drops down into the earth a little bit more. But it's going to be different. It's going to be different in different places in your body. It's going to be different each time you meditate. And again, you can trust that your body is letting go in the way that it needs to let go this time. In a way that is safe for you at this time. In the way that's best for your own healing. And then you're coming to your shoulder blades. Feel your shoulder blades contacting the earth underneath you. Allow them to soften and release into the floor even more. And then feel up into the interior of your upper back, right through your shoulder blades to the inside of your body, up to your sternum, out to your shoulders, feeling the dense layers of tension as you move through this part of your body. Notice where the tension is, and then allow that tension to dissolve and flow down, back down through your shoulder blades and into the earth. Now feel your elbows heavy on the ground. Coming back to the tension in your shoulders, all the burdens of responsibility, all the shoulds you place on yourself, all the aggression, all the self-improvement projects, and just let that flow down through your upper arms, down through your elbows and into the earth, letting it go. And then coming into your hands, Feeling all the layers of tension through all the joints of your fingers, your palms, the backs of your hands, your wrists, your forearms, all the ways you feel like you need to do something. Letting that go through your forearms, through your elbows and into the earth. Letting go. And then coming to your head. Feeling the tension in your head. Feeling the tension around your temples, your eyes, and your forehead, allowing that physical tension to come forward. And then letting it pass through the back of your head and into the earth. Coming to your brain itself. All the tightness, all the controlling. Trying to get rid of thoughts, trying to hang on to thoughts, trying to remember things, trying not to remember things, trying to let go of things. You can let the thoughts pass through your mind like wind passes through the branches of the tree. Let them flow out through the back of your head like a wave moves through the water. Those deeper held beliefs, those core beliefs, those convictions that cause so much tension. You know, I shouldn't be this way. I should be that way. Feel down into your brain stem, the base of your brain, the middle of your brain, down towards the back of your throat. Allow that area, feel the tension there. Feel the holding on. Allow that area to release and relax. You don't have to hold on there anymore. And then feel your body as a whole, breathing into your body as a whole. Feeling any points of tension that is calling out to you in your body. And then relax and release, following those points of tension down and into the earth. So you're going to breathe into your body as a whole. Feeling any points of tension that are coming forward. And as you breathe out, follow those points of tension down and into the earth. So you're connecting with the earth underneath you, feeling the support of the earth underneath you, letting your body be supported on the surface, breathing into your body. Feeling the tension in your body, and then visualizing the tension flowing down and into the earth. And so as you do this, you notice that your awareness can travel down and into the earth. Your body is here on the surface, but your awareness is not restricted to your body. Your awareness is extending out from your body and into the earth. So you breathe into your body as a whole. And on your out breath, you let your awareness open and descend into the earth. On your in breath, you're in your body. And as you breathe out, you follow your breath as it drops into the earth. So the next time you breathe out and follow your breath into the earth, just let your awareness stay there. Stay in the earth. You don't need to come back up into your body. Just let your awareness abide in the earth. And then each time you breathe out, you're going to allow your awareness to open and drop a little bit further. So you won't come back up. You'll stay with where you are in the earth. Each out breath, you're going to open and go down a little bit further. So notice with your felt sensation what it feels like down there. Notice the qualities of the earth. It may feel open and empty. It may feel dark. You're going to notice what it feels like for yourself. You're going to move into the darkness. The darkness holds the totality. The darkness is your totality. Just keep dropping and opening, sensing and feeling the awareness around you, letting your awareness drop. It's as if you're a feather floating down, a snowflake falling down. Your awareness keeps dropping and opening, and you're sensing into what this space feels like as you descend. So the deeper your awareness goes down into the earth, the more relaxed and the less wound up you are, the less gripping in the body, on the surface, the less gripping of your ego. Just stay with the sensations, feeling into your experience. In the beginning, it's not that easy. It's very unfamiliar. But each time you breathe out, you sense the relaxing, the opening, and the dropping. And when you feel yourself thinking, when you feel yourself in your body, it's okay. Just begin again. Let your awareness drop and open. Just drop and open into the earth and stay with the sensations. Stay with feeling what it feels like. You're going to hang out there. You just keep staying with this process of descending on and on. This is about your felt experience of the earth. It's not about what you think about what the earth is here. We all have ideas about what the earth is. But when you drop down into the earth, notice what it feels like. Feel the qualities of your experience. It might be empty, it might be peaceful, it might be dark, it might be open, it might be warm, it might be spacious, it might be reassuring. You might feel that things are accommodated here, it might feel very accepting. Just breathing out and dropping and opening. So you're going to stay connected with the sensations of the earth underneath you and slowly roll to your side. Pause on your side for a moment. Take a breath or two there. You're going to take a moment to gather yourself up. And then you're going to come up to a seated position. So this is a time for you in our virtual circle to ask questions about your practice, to have a space to speak about your practice, either today's or your practice that you have during the week. And as always, listening is just as valuable a way to participate in our circle.
I've been practicing regularly for a little while now, and I'm finding that I do have a greater awareness of things coming up, as you talked about earlier, Melissa. One of the things that I find is profound is that I have been aware one time, it's not like it's all the time, but I have been aware one time of something coming up. And I was in conversation with someone else, and I knew very well that I didn't want to go there at the moment. It was very visceral, it was very physical, and it wasn't that I never want to unpeel that part of the onion. It was just that this was not the time for me. Mm-hmm. And it was a powerful, and it wasn't profound. It was just a very sure knowing. Mm-hmm. So I'm finding there's just a tremendous amount of power in this practice. I am really curious about what you were saying, though, of the mind being part of the body. And I have a real strong suspicion that that's where I need to go next. I'm glad we're going there.
Well, sounds like you're right on track.
Today.
Yeah.
No attachment, right?
Mm.
I just wanted to say that I really enjoy sinking into the earth. It's a really nice feeling. It's getting easier in some way. It's just in the beginning, I remember that also by wanting it so much to experience, and now it's just happening. And it's really nice. I feel always very comforted. It's safe. It's a very safe place to be, and it's really nice to experience that. It's a safeness. I don't know. I just don't know. It's not something I'm used to. I think to feel safe. It's a very
So you do know, but I think that's accurate when you say it's not something you're used to. Yeah. So you do know it's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that safety is not something that you're used to.
No, I never experienced it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And now it's a very natural feeling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it always touches me deeply. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a kind of anchor you can go to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you're feeling unsafe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we are always connected to it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things is that through the practices that we're doing through this meditation, through the Fast February, we're removing the blockages that we've, not intentionally, but that we've imposed on ourselves that have kept us kind of disconnected from it. And so the more we do these practices, the more we feel like, the more our awareness is open to this continuous connection with it as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really the connectedness with the earth, or being a part of it. It's not
exactly. Yes, exactly.
Just we are part, like animals or trees or we're just one of the parts. And that's, yeah, I really love that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's very late for Benny. Oh, I think she realized she'd fallen asleep, poor thing. So precious. I think it's like 11, like I think it's her bedtime. Like, she doesn't usually come to this one, yeah.
No.
Yeah. That was really precious. Oh, she's back.
That's fun.
This is beautiful. Michelle says for her, it feels like being surrounded by warm water, so deep and spacious, held in grace. One time I heard somebody describe it like the descent, like deep, like going down like a deep sea diver in the water.
Yeah, I had that once.
I'm sorry, I lost a bit the connection, so I don't know where you.
Oh, I thought you fell asleep because it's so late for you. We were feeling very tender for your fatigue, but you hadn't fallen asleep.
I'm in holidays, yay!
Okay.
For me, it was, I don't know, it was like I felt some resistance. And at the time, just like you said, Linda, some big feeling of safety. It was really dark, a darkness, but a safe darkness. And I just experienced a wave of heat in my body, in my legs, and I quit my jacket because I am so hot. It's really a strange feeling, this heat. And at the time, I had to go back on the earth. It was not easy at all. I just kept going to my body, so I needed to let go. There was resistance and letting go at the time. It was, and this heat was super hot.
So all of this is really normal.
Okay.
They call it earthquaking.
Okay.
Up and down, because as Linda said, we're not used to the stability and safety and warmth and grace and spaciousness and unconditional acceptance that's available to us there. It's just foreign to us. And so we're becoming accustomed to it. So we're coming back up to what's familiar, and then we're like, no, I want more of it. So we're dropping down, and we're like, oh, what is this? It's so foreign. Then we're coming back up to what's familiar, and then we're dropping back down. So that's normal. And then what you're talking about, the warmth, I didn't direct this today, but actually when you drop down at the center of the earth is the fire of the earth, and that's the warmth and the source of all that is, right, in the center of the earth. And so spontaneously Benny drew that up into her, right? And that can be part of the practice too. So connecting with the warmth and the prana, the source, the love, all that is, that can come up and suffuse all of your body. So that is a part of the earth descent as well.
Okay.
My experience was it got to a point where I started to feel resistance. So there was some letting go, and then there was resistance, and it felt heavy. and it also felt, it manifested in a type of pain in my head, which stayed there for a while until I was able to kind of come back into my body. And then as soon as I let it go, to try and, to let go deeper, the pain came up again. It gradually lessened, but the feeling of heaviness never quite subsided. So it always felt as though I got down to a point, and then my body kind of thought, well, no, okay, well, that's enough for you today.
Yep. So that's great. I think this is the first time you've done this, the descent, right, Jackie? Yeah, so perfect.
For me, being told to breathe and go down again several times. And then when I stayed there, it was a feeling of permission to be myself, almost like a recharge, stay here and be yourself. It was a very strange feeling.
Nice.
Over the last couple of days, I've noticed during this practice that there's some kind of connection. We've got a lot of feedback. You hear that? Or am I just...
I can, just a sec, I'll mute everybody and unmute you, Ivy. It might be on your end because I hadn't noticed it until you talked, but let's try that. Go ahead.
Over the last few days, I've noticed a different connection with the earth during the practice and after it, walking around, doing things, going outside and so on. And sometimes when I'm doing the practice, I see myself as part of the earth. And I didn't know if that was, too surface or what, but I see myself as the dust blowing in the wind. I see myself as the tree outside my window. I feel grounded in that trunk. When I lay down, I spread out. It's like I become a puddle. And it goes down. Like things are relaxing, but I'm bits. It's hard to explain. There aren't words for some of this stuff.
No, yeah, it's difficult. Yeah.
It's hard. But it's like I'm being absorbed. Maybe the best way to say it. Way. And I still had this stuff going on in my head. I had to keep coming back and saying, you can let that go. It can go by. Just let it. So I felt like my body and my mind were both busy at the same time today.
Great.
There's something kind of comforting about being the grass, being a tree, being, I never thought that before, but you don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to have a conversation if you don't feel like it. You can just stick in the ground. You can just blow in the wind. You can just be green.
Yeah, and this is this, letting go of, you're talking about a very physical experience of letting go of shape and form. This is this dissolution of ego, which you're finding actually very comfortable because it sounds like it's really letting you off the hook.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting experience. I didn't actually really get to the sinking into the earth. I tried, but before that, when I was letting go of the tension in the different areas of my body, I had I'm definitely pretty raw. I had 3 distinct emotions for different parts of my body. It was very interesting. When it was my shoulders letting go, and it was about projects and self projects and that sort of thing, I felt fear. I didn't want to let go. Then after that, we went into the brain and let go of the thoughts, and that was wonderful. I felt such relief. And then right after that, we went to the throat, and I have a little bit of problem with my throat right now. I'm sorry. And I cried pretty strong. So it was interesting how quickly it moved from emotion to emotion and how strong it was for me. So I tried to use the experience of what we were just talking about and what I was trying to do, which was to cope. So to allow those emotions to happen and to let it move to the next one and move to the next one. And when we got to the sinking into the earth part, I was just a little bit too overwhelmed.
Yeah.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah.
We continued with visualizing. I did go a little bit, but yeah, it was a lot for me.
So one thing about when we're doing the meditations here is you're a little bit imposed. We have a self-imposed time restraint, and when you've got the recordings going and you're letting go of something and it feels like it's not done yet and I'm moving on, you can always press pause and stay with it for longer until it feels like it's fully let go, and then you can press play again and then move on to the next part. But in the live class, you're somewhat locked into the time restraints that we're working with here. So yeah, it sounds like there was more there for you, and maybe throughout the week, if you do this meditation again, it may or may not come up again though, right? In the same way, like those of us that have been practicing, we'll come in and we'll be like, well, this is going to happen again, and then something completely different happens. So, but just know that option is available to you when you're practicing. If it feels like it's not done, that you can, the pause button is a very useful button when practicing with the recordings. Yeah. Because it sounds like it wasn't quite done.
Got a lot going on.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
We're all complex human beings with living complex lives and, just trying to get through the days.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. I was at a all-day meditation retreat Saturday. So it feels like yesterday because yesterday was just like integration. I was just like a mess all day yesterday. It's like barely coping, just as I was trying to like process, or my body was trying to like process it. And even my teacher said to me like during the day, he was like, "You look like you got kicked in the teeth today," And then when I look around at all of you guys, when we practice and I see those changes in your faces, I was like, I feel like I'd been beat up that day. Like that's how much change I'd been through physically and emotionally, mentally. So then the whole next day I felt like I was in it still. But the thing that he said that really struck me was that, oh God, I don't know if I should say this because you might all quit, but
No.
It's not likely at this point.
Yeah, you're in too deep now. He was saying, I'm kind of, because it wasn't something I wrote down, because it was kind of one of those things that just lands and you're like, whoa. But he was saying, it was somebody asking another teacher about how you know somebody's seriously meditating or something like that. How do you know your students that are really really in it, like really practicing and really in it? And the teacher said, oh, they're the ones that are the most messed up. I was like, phew.
Oh, wow.
It was like A+ for me then. He knows I'm practicing now. It was something like that. It wasn't quite, I'm sure it's like, you know, when you play telephone tag and the message gets passed through, I'm not quite translating it right, but it was something like that. So on that note, my messed up people, I'm just going to keep messing you up more and more and more. That's what we're doing here. Creating chaos. Oh my God. Thank you for being here today. Contributing to the chaos of the world. And enjoy your practice this week. And I will see you next week. Jackie will log out and log back in under a different code so we can do another recording. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Petra, for coming your first time. And see you next week, and see you on the forum, everybody. Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.